In Legends of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, there are fairy bottles that you can collect 4 in total that allow you to, of course, have a fairy in your pocket to save you if you're about to die. I'm going to show you every single one of those locations in this quick video. So let's get into it. Now thankfully at the very beginning of the game in the Southern Forest Cave, as I'm showing you here, you can find your very first fairy bottle, which is super nice because in previous Zelda games it takes you a little while to actually get bottles that you can put a fairy into. And since this is literally one of the starting areas inside the game, it is a very simple area that you need to go through. Yes, you're going to be attacked by a couple different monsters, but it's not really anything difficult. You are going to come across one small puzzle where you need to take one of the fire Zols, I think it's called an Ignizol, and put it onto the 2 different torches that you see in the corner. This will open up the final room where you will see a chest in the back, and inside this chest is your very first fairy bottle. Moving on to the next easiest place you can get this fairy bottle is going to be in Cucco village on a very particular side quest to catch cuckoos and put them in a cage. Don't worry, it's going to be very easy to find the person for this particular side quest because they are going to be right in front of what looks like a pen, which, as you could probably guess by the actual side quest title, is going to be used for housing chickens. Talk to the lady that has a speech bubble above her head and she will give you the side quest, Cuckoos on the Loose. All you have to do at this point is find every single one of the cuckoos that is around the village, and don't worry, they're not that difficult to find outside of one if you don't look closely. Now most of these cuckoos can be found very close by to the actual pen and where you actually started this side quest. As you see, just below the pen where you started this side quest is going to be your very first bird. Another very easy one is going to be to the right of the pen, right next to the well that has a covering on it, which you can move, by the way. Next closest bird is going to be just above the pen, just above that little pen house that you're looking at, right next to all the gravestones, so you can easily just throw it down the hill back into the pen. The 4th bird could be found just south of the pen, right at the village entrance. Probably you first walked into Cucco village. It's also right near the fast travel point, so it makes it another easy one to find. Now the 5th and final bird is actually going to be the trickiest one to get to and get back to the pen. All you have to do is go to the top right of the village where you're going to run into a windmill. On top of this windmill is where you're going to actually find the bird. Now the tricky part of actually getting up this windmill is that if you're doing this early on in the game, you may not have enough echo stars or echo triangles to actually get on top of this windmill. If that is the case and you're doing this very early on in the game, I recommend you use one of the spiders, attach to the spider, and then follow the spider, which will then immediately just crawl right over top of the windmill right next to the bird that you're trying to get in touch with. Now if you have the water block echo, I recommend you just use that because that's much faster than using the spider. Anyway, when you get on top of this windmill, all you have to do is get it back to the pen. Since this is the last bird you need to put back in the pen. Of course, once you have turned in all 5 of these birds, you will complete the side quest and get your reward from the lady that's been trying to get these birds back. Now as you probably know at this point, once you have gotten all the birds back inside of this pen, your reward for completing this side quest is going to be your 2nd fairy bottle if you're doing these in the order I'm showing you. Your next fairy bottle is probably going to be the least direct fairy bottle you're going to come across because you have to get 15 stamps for the stamp rally side quests, which takes place all over the Hyrule map. I will have a video linked down below to show you every single one of these stamp rally locations, but again, just know that when you get 15 stamps, no matter what order you get these stamps in, you'll be visited by the stamp rally guy and he will give you one of the 4 fairy bottles that we're looking for. Once again, I will have a full video every single one of these locations linked down below in a separate video to make this easier for you. Now the 4th fairy bottle on this list can only be gotten after going through a very particular side quest in the seaside village after you have completed the main quest line that helps save Hyrule Castle from the giant rift that spawns there. Once you have completed this main part of the main storyline, you'll be able to see this gentleman sitting on top of this yellow boathouse, and you could start a side quest that goes to a shipwreck not far away. The shipwreck can be found southwest of the actual village, which will be very easy to see if you just explore this area or at least open up the map some more. Once you get here, all you have to do, like the guy had mentioned, is pry open the lid to actually get inside of this sunken ship. This sunken ship is actually a mini dungeon that I won't spoil the main parts of this mini dungeon so that you can enjoy it for yourselves. It's not a very difficult dungeon. There is a mini boss fight at the end of this dungeon, but again, you're going to have to complete this mini dungeon to progress closer to actually getting the fairy bottle. Once you have completed that sunken ship dungeon, and it will be very obvious when you have, make your way back to the seaside town, talk to the old man, and this will help you complete the side quest. And of course, the reward that we're all looking for is another fairy bottle. Now the nice thing is with all of these different fairy bottles, you won't die very easily, but where you're going to find some very easy locations for fairies. Thankfully, there is a very easy location very early on in the game that you can fast travel to. In the middle of Lake Hylia, just southeast of Hyrule Castle, you will see a very large island that you can go and visit the Great Fairy Shrine. Now you go to the Great Fairy Shrine to be able to upgrade the amount of accessories that you can wear for Zelda. I think you can upgrade to wearing 4 or 5 accessories at once, but at the same time, inside of here, you're going to have 2 automatic spawns for fairies. So obviously this is a guaranteed location where you can get at least 2 fairies, and if you just go out of the cave and back in, you'll have another 2 set of fairies. So a very easy way to fill up your bottles before going into a dungeon. But those are all 4 locations of each of the fairy bottles. As you can see, all 4 of them inside of the game. I hope you guys found this walkthrough and location guide helpful. If you did, make sure to hit the like, subscribe buttons for me down below so I know that you did find it helpful. And I will have the stamp rally video linked down below to make getting that fairy bottle that much easier. I'll catch you guys on the next video.